welcome to the Wet Coast Wolves podcast. It is episode 6. Today is Tuesday, June 28th. It is Tuesday, right? Yeah. We are having a field trip to my house. If you watched the mini-sode last week, you'll recognize the backdrop. Very fancy. If you want to find us on Instagram and Ravelry, we are Wet Coast Wolves, all one word. I'm Glenda. And you can find me on Instagram at Glenda McDonald that's MC, like the restaurant. Or
what's your DJ name? MC Donald.
Well, my father's name.
I'm MC Laughlin.
Oh, okay.
That's how I spell it.
I don't. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
And people are like, "What kind of McLaughlin?" I'm like, MC Laugh LIN.
That's funny.
And apologies for any ambient noise just right off the bat.
As that motorcycle goes whizzing by.
It is super hot for Vancouver, so the door is open. And
my air conditioning is broken in the building. And it was quiet until about 2 seconds ago. I don't know where all this background noise is coming from.
So hopefully either I'll be able to tone it down or you can forgive us.
Yeah, if it gets really bad, we all shut the door, I think.
And I'm Bernadette.
Oh, yeah.
I am Eco Geek all the places. Although, if you don't understand Leet speak, it's EC0G33K, which always makes me smile. Specifically Sue. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Sue. I just finished watching your podcast. Oh my goodness. Okay, no, I just thought of something we'll bring up later.
Okay, you can find our show notes on Ravelry in our Ravelry group, which is Wet Coast Woolies. Yeah, and you can leave comments and questions there if you have anything to say about the background noise, or if you want to know anything about our project.
Or if you really want us to go back to the store. Actually, we're not going to be filming in the store for a while, because our next podcasting week would be 2 weeks from now when I'm on vacation.
Yep.
So
you guys are probably going to get a solo episode with me, or maybe if I can wrangle up a special guest.
I might do a short one from the boat. We're going sailing. If Mike ever gets the boat back together.
Sure. Yeah, so like most people are somewhere, we'll try and keep our schedule consistent, but we might have different things happening. Like I know we're going to try and do more little mini episodes. Like I'm going to Portland in August, which is very exciting, and I'm hoping I can wrangle my knitting friend I'm going with into filming a mini episode with me. I'm very excited to go to Portland. It feels like I'm going to hipster Mecca, which may or may not be offensive to both hipsters and Muslims, so apologies.
Finally, she's accepting she's a hipster.
There's not a lot I can do. I dyed my hair blue this week, so it's like, you can't really tell.
You should be sitting on this side with the white background, you'd say better.
Still can't tell. Been doing vintage hair, dyed my hair blue. There's not a lot I can do at this point. I can either define myself as stuff I like, or just do what I like, and people can make their own assumptions. Anyhow, in theory, this is a show about knitting.
Yeah, let's do knitting.
Also, apologies. It is later in the evening. I was at work all day, so we might be a little bit more like this than normal. We have coffee now, but at some point, it may or may not become beer. We'll see.
Yeah, we can magically... Oh, that's an interesting... Want to go first with FOs or me?
You can go first.
Okay,
I have more than you, so you can go
if
first.
If you watched the mini-sode from last week, I chopped apart a sweater. It was super fun. Oops, sorry, clicking needles again. And it's finished, and you totally can't see, because let me see if I can change the light. Move it forward. No, you really can't. Oh, there, maybe. Kind of. So this is my Central Park hoodie, which I cut apart. If you didn't watch the mini-sode, I decided after I made it last year that it was 2 inches too short, about. And it's, of course, made in pieces and sewn together, so to fix it, I took apart the bottom seams, which you can't really see right now. Oh, look, I still have stitch markers, haha. So actually, they're on there for a reason, I just remembered. So the yellow one actually just showed, I wish you could see, clicking buttons and not being able to see. This is so not efficient.
This is the greatest episode of the podcast ever.
Okay, see the black, the white, this stitch marker here, this top one? That was the original length of the sweater. And then this was where the ribbing starts. So I added that much to my sweater, basically. So I should get back in the frame so you can actually hear me. I cut the bottom off and I knit downward, and then I grafted the bottom on, Kitchener stitched it all the way across, and then sewed it back together, and then I had to redo the button bands, which go all the way around the hood. and I couldn't figure out how to do the buttons, so I actually had to do this twice because it's been a weird week. And then the buttons went on this morning, and now it's all finished, and just in time for the 28-degree weather, I have a perfectly good wool hoodie.
Prepared.
But I will be ready when it gets cold. And I'm hoping to wear it to Knit City, so if you're coming to Knit City, you will see it in person in Knit City.
Yay!
And I'm hoping, somebody said somewhere that they want to see, I think it was one of the comments, they wanted to see a full shot photograph, so I'll take one when I'm at the store tomorrow or the next day or something and get one on my Ravelry page and Instagram, and you can see it in all its glory.
If you get it to me, like, before I edit it, I can put it in.
Oh yeah.
It's,
okay.
Once again, it's the one trick I have.
It's matching pictures.
Yeah.
Perfect. All right. You do one.
Okay. I have a lot of photos.
Actually, because that's all I finished, so
okay.
that's all I can do.
Okay, what's your stash average at?
Oh, so I don't know, it's only, I added 960 meters with the sweater. Technically, I was amazed, actually. I brought home 2 extra balls of yarn, and I was all gung-ho to be like, okay, I'm going to add the full 180 extra meters, because there's 80 meters on a ball, and I didn't even go into the second ones. I had like half a ball left over from when I first made it, and I just reused the bit that I pulled off from when I took off the button bands, and then I used that little bit extra, and I technically have like, I don't know, 10 yards or something left from one of the balls, but yeah, so my stash total right now is 4,953 meters. Almost at the 5K.
Just so you all know, she has a sad face next to her.
I do.
Her meterage, which seems silly, because that's
I
a
only
ton of
finished
meterage.
one thing all week. It's so sad.
As you said, it's been a weird week.
Yeah. Oops. This is gonna make noise.
With like temperature changes and just like life, and I don't know. It's been a weird week. Okay, so I have finished things because I've been not cast. Well, okay, slight lie. I cast on 2 new pairs of socks, but that was to replace my other socks for good reason, which I'll get into later. I did warn you while I was going to do that, but yeah, I've been trying to work on things that have been languishing. So speaking of socks, I'll start with this one because it's on the top of my pile. I finished my expanding community socks. Oh my god, look at the pooling. I didn't see that till right now.
Yeah, you can totally see it. That's funny. The camera really picks that stuff up.
This one's better. This one is not. Okay, so these are my expanding Commuknitty socks.
Did you fix the heel thing?
I did not. So I don't know if anyone saw this on last podcast. As we're filming, I realized that my heels were 2 different sizes.
There's a point where Kelsey's talking and Bernadette and I are like conferring over on the side, and like Mike was watching and he's like, "What are you guys talking about? That looks really bad."
It's because my heels were 2 completely different sizes. They both fit fine. Just one heel flap is a lot longer than the other one.
Maybe you just have one heel that's bigger than the other.
They fit me fine. It's fine. Just like I was so mentally done with these socks. I haven't actually showed you guys.
They look so good now.
Florence was telling me that you apparently can't see the stitch pattern at all. It is very busy.
Yeah, I imagine the camera it might be a little bit hard to see.
So this is the side angle, maybe? Oh, you can't see it. It is way too busy. Let's see. Does this help? It's super technical.
It's like a diagonal.
It's an arrow kind of pattern.
Oh, cool. I didn't look see that.
Maybe? No. Still way... No, you can't see it at all. Okay, so my sock is too busy. I will maybe try and insert a picture of it less busy. But it's kind of like an arrow pattern that goes down the sock, like up from the toe.
That's really neat.
And it's got garter sections and then lines of sock knit stitches. So it's all very stretchy. The back of the sock is just ribbed. It's a spacious OMG heel, which I'm excited to see how it wears on my foot. Because I know it works well for Brian.
Do you actually knit the diagonal line, or do you slip a stitch?
You knit it.
Okay.
So it's all very stretchy. If it was a slip stitch, I would have been more concerned.
Yeah.
Because those haven't worked well for me in the past little bit. I knit the 56 stitch size because it's a really stretchy pattern, and I normally knit a 60 stitch. And it's the Diamond Select Footsie again. I'm hopefully not going to be knitting with this yarn for a while. It looks, if you watch our podcasts for the past few episodes, it looks like that's all I knit with. I do knit other things, but a large portion of my colors. Yeah, well, it's also like a really affordable price point, and when you're addicted to sock knitting and something's affordable, you're like, oh, I feel bad. I'll just buy some of this. It's half my stash. Also for finished socks, I finished my dad's Father's Day socks.
Yay, finally!
Yay. I'm not putting them on the sock blockers because they're way too big anyway. So it's just a basic vanilla sock, toe up with a fish lips kiss heel in it. 72 stitches, forever length. It's not actually forever, but that's it. That's what it felt like. I used the entire ball of the orange, like pretty much every inch of the 377 meters. I went and I got some CoBaSi, which is the same sort of blend as the vegan yarns. Which is a cotton bamboo elastic. The CoBaSi has a bit of silk in it. And now my dad has some really fun line socks. Because he needed cotton giant orange socks, as previously stated. Both of these guys are for my stack of socks. So I kind of want to see how big my stack is.
Do you get to count both, so each sock in it, or just like one half of the pair?
No, the pair. So right now, I don't have a measuring thing.
Oh.
But
I have like 7 over there, but...
that's too far. So right now, my stack of socks is this high. The advantage of... I don't know what you're eyeing, but the advantage of cotton socks is they're slightly thicker. So that's my stack of socks so far. I enjoy the fact that I can count gift socks, because I have too many, and the people in my life have been not complaining, but requesting pairs of socks, which you will also see in whips. What other foes do I have? I have 2 more foes.
All the things.
So I finished a pair of Maize Mittens, also in time for the 30-degree weather. I cast these on last year, the 23rd of December.
So it's taking you 6 months to make them?
They've been sitting under my bed because I got bored making them, and I wanted to get them off my needles.
It's a hand spun?
Sort of. So I will show you guys. It's so fun!
I like it.
And I knit them inside out because no one wants to purl as much. But the Maize Mittens have this really fun detail of these 3 stitches that go up the side and 1 stitch that goes up this way. My hands are very warm. I knit the cuffs on these, or whatever this part's called, extra long because I get cold hands, but it doesn't actually get cold enough to wear mittens here without looking silly. But then I can roll this down when it doesn't actually... when it's not that cold. And the yarn, it's... I'm so sorry for the traffic
There's
noise.
a construction site right across the street from us, so...
Glenda tells me they were doing nothing all day.
Well, no, they were working all day and then they stopped because it's... Oh, no, but it's not. Never mind. I don't understand. They're supposed to, start at 7 and finish at 4, but these guys, they work on Saturdays. They never stop.
Well, I guess at least they're efficient.
I think they're just really far behind.
Possibly also that as well. Okay, so these guys, they're very fun. I did not spin this yarn, but it is homespun that I picked up in Ireland from the Donegal Spinning Company. That's a very fancy label. I got it at, you can't see that at all, from Studio Donegal in Kilcar in Ireland. And we went and picked up a bunch of yarn, not the cones of yarn. I realized as soon as I said that I haven't showed those off in the podcast. Brain's not working. I've had coffee. I'm sorry. It will end up in my body soon and make me make more sense. But I went to Ireland last year, and we went to Studio Donegal, which is primarily a weaving place now. They do a lot of blankets and things like that, but they also had a bunch of yarn there, and they had a bunch of faux hand spun. I think these were just mill ends that they put together. And it was fairly cheap, and this is very rustic. I haven't washed it yet. I think it still has some spinning oil in it, but feel.
Oh my gosh.
Super rustic.
Wow, that's really stiff. You did a really tight gauge, too.
Well, they're supposed to be done in 6mm. It's mittens. I wanted something warm, and it's really rustic, so I'm hoping it'll wear well.
That's nice.
Yeah, so I'm also hoping they'll soften up just a little bit. What are you going to do with one glove? They don't match anyway.
Steal one now and grab the other later.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so those, I haven't counted the yardage for this yet.
Oops.
But I, soon. I finished them this morning. I'm so sorry, guys. This is going to be an interesting podcast. My brain is melted. And my final piece of finished. My finished spinning. Oh my god.
Hey, we can coin a new word. It'll be hilarious.
Finished. All right.
Finished.
Finished. All right. Is I finished this 2-ply that I was showing a couple of weeks ago. It's really fun rainbow colors. It's Perrindale wool. You guys saw, I think, the rainbow part, but you can kind of see it's rainbow colors in black. It's Perrindale wool. The rainbow came from Hummingbee Farm. I got it Fibers West, and then the black was Birkeland Brothers that a customer, or I guess a friend, Greta, gave it to me.
Oh, fun.
And it was an important learning opportunity for me, and the importance of preparation. Because the Perrindale from Birkeland Brothers was a lot chunkier, I guess. Like, it wasn't as smooth of a spin. I was able to get like a really nice spin from the rainbow. It was like Perrindale is a long wool, so it's not like spinning something soft and squishy. It's got a very long staple to it. But the rainbow was nice and smooth and no problems. The black was lumpy for some reason, and I don't know why. Glenda's reading her pattern. She has to do increases. No, I'm just like...
Buttonholes. I'm like, why?
Ooh, why are you doing buttonholes?
Because
I didn't know you were doing buttonholes.
Yeah, I didn't realize I was doing buttonholes either, but I guess it's an attached button band. I'll talk about it later.
But yeah, so it was an important lesson in prep for me as a spinner. I've now almost been a spinner for about a year, or a wheel spinner for about a year, so I'm pretty happy with it, my spinning. But, oh my god, this is so rambling.
Sorry, my hair's doing weird. It's like thing growing out of my head.
It's gonna be like the one where things go pear-shaped. But this is gonna be part of my, I have a bunch of hand spun that's like multicolored, plied with neutral, and I'm hoping at some point to make it into a big giant shawl thing. I'd say this is, at some points it's like a worsted, in other parts it's like a bulky.
Yeah, I would do that a little bulky. You don't want to smush that down. You'll wreck the fun texture out of it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is that a word?
It's gonna be a hand spun shawl. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, so that's all my faux. So minus the Maize Mittens, I haven't weighed them. They're probably not that much meterage anyway, because I still have a ton of yarn left. I'm at 54.28 for my meterage. So I've done the 5K. And yeah, I'm excited because I still haven't done those sweaters.
Oh.
Giant blanket that I'm going to talk about later still isn't done.
I gotta knit faster.
Although I only have to like almost the end of August, so I feel like I'm cutting it a bit close for trying to do a
15.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. I keep thinking the camera is on the
No,
table.
no.
It's just the microphone.
We moved up in the world.
Alrighty. So talk about your knitting.
Okay, so I'm gonna start not with the thing that I'm working on.
Oh, I was like, is it because you're doing buttonholes?
Well, actually, no, it's because I'm in the middle of the row. I should have not started.
You want me
this
to?
row.
I can talk. You talk,
and I'll finish this row.
I'm very articulate today. So I guess I will start with what I'm currently working on. I am also in the middle of a row. Don't care though. This is living in my Riv Creative bag with the fancy dapper cats. I have more knit on my second sock. So these are just a pair of plain vanilla socks. These are the Brown Bag Sock Club for my stash that my boyfriend and I put together for socks for him. This is sock number 2.
Which yarn is that?
It is something I picked up in Ireland.
Oh my goodness, I haven't seen this one.
No, because it's been sitting in my stash forever. So I cast these on because Brian likes to force me to go see horror movies. And I'll go because I can knit. So I cast these on, and we went to go see The Conjuring 2. It actually wasn't bad, all things considered.
You need to move this way, you're falling out of the screen.
I will. I'll move back. I knew I was going to get up. So this is kind of the striping pattern. It's grays, and that's a navy that you can't see. Grays, navies, and the little fisherman that Glenda gave me. I felt like these socks were nautical enough. This one has the shark right there. And these are my highest sharps. So this yarn is Rico Design Superba.
Oh.
I got it. This is knit in Dublin.
It's German, that one.
Probably. It's like Seam German. I had a really hard time finding it on Ravelry. It's not... Oh, I keep tipping the chair. I really hope that's not making noise. Okay. Super professional today.
It's all weird.
So, can you see it? Kind of. So that's the yarn, and it actually has pictures of what it will look like on the side. That's all the colorways. I'm knitting that one. It's not the most... It's not Brian's finest pair of socks, but it was in the stash, and he picked it out. So it's kind of like souvenir socks for him. And yeah, so his... I think these ones are going to have a Fish Lips Kiss heel in them. And I'll probably do those pulling from the inside of the ball. And yeah, I think it's 64 stitches. There you go. Toe up. I don't think I have anything else to add, do I? No? Look, I had nothing interesting to add to begin with. Okay. Yeah, my brain feels like this yarn might be discontinued, but it's pretty neutral man colors anyway, so. Go ahead. Please be more articulate than me.
Okay, so I am knitting in green, as you can see. I was organized. I printed out pictures. So this is what I'm making. It is called the Big Tom. Sorry, I'm going to steal
I will organize my socks.
And it's by Jenny Wiebe. And it is, I'm making it in Diamond Tradition, so the same yarn I was using for the blankets that I showed in previous weeks. This is for my nephew Max. He is turning 7, I want to say. He's going to grade 1 next year, so 7. So this one I just cast it on yesterday. I just decided at work, I'm like, I need to make a sweater, so I cast it on. I'm going really slow this week because you've probably seen me earlier. I all of a sudden got like crazy arm cramping, like my wrists, and I don't know, it's really strange. I was talking to my chiropractor today. He's like, yeah, it's probably overwork. It could be just built up over the last few months. I'm like, what? Like, I can't imagine why.
Like it was just like laying in wait for you to overwork yourself?
I don't know. It was really weird. Like, I think it was like I was saying last week, I was been lying on the sofa trying to rest my back, which is a whole other story we're not going to get into. And I think I was knitting and lying down and knitting, and I think that maybe the positioning or something, because it's all tight through here as well, so I don't know. It's just annoying because I can't knit that much. So I feel like I've been all over the place. I haven't really done much of anything. But yeah, so I cast this on yesterday because I wanted something else. So hopefully it'll be done by next Saturday because that's when his birthday is.
You can always do the thing where you gift it to them on the needles. I do that sometimes.
And we may or may not be, it depends on when they have the birthday party, and if we miss the birthday party, then I'll just give it to them when we get back and when we see them in 3 weeks. So
there you go. Good plan.
Good. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. Do you want to do another thing, or?
Yeah, you go ahead and do another
thing.
I have more
so
things.
this is really boring, actually. This is the same sock I've been showing. But look, it grew. It's like one of the few things I can knit. Some nights, if I don't, the more I move these 2 fingers, the less I can knit. So sock knitting is really good for that. It limits these fingers, but it's matched. So that's what it's gonna look like. This is going in the second Grocery Girls second sock of Summer Cal. This is one of very many that I need to finish on that knit along. So it's Croy sock yarn, Cascade colors, 2.25 carbons. That's all.
It's a good knit along idea. I do the I did find it funny though how they assumed everyone had noises.
Sorry.
Everyone had second socks.
Yeah.
They assumed everyone who didn't was lying, and I was like, no, I definitely.
Well, did you see their latest podcast? Jody counted she had like just 10 single socks that she like was able to find, and she's like, I think I have more. So and that, I mean, yeah,
it's a good idea to host a knit along. We have all the things. Yeah, I don't think I have a single sock floating around.
Oh.
I entered these guys in the second sock one, because if you were knitting a second sock, you could enter it. So
right.
But there's a bajillion sock knit-alongs happening.
I have like 4 sets of socks. Well, because they said that like 2 at a time socks that are only half knit can count, because technically, 2 half socks equals 1 sock, right? So I have a couple of those on the go too, and one that I may save. I pulled it off the needles, but I may save it.
Why? I was just like halfway through.
Why did I?
Oh no!
Oh, you're talking to yourself. Okay.
Yep. Why would I talk to you? You're not here or anything.
Of course not.
This is pulling out my next work in progress. It's trying to be prepared, and it's not working. Okay, so transitioning out of Glenda's story. Still talking about socks though, because it's me, and these are my new cast-ons. So Brian, my boyfriend, got his black belt in judo. a couple of weeks ago.
That's this yarn.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm excited to see
Very
how it's
exciting.
knitting.
It's knitting up well. So, as is tradition with Brian, I would like to say in my family, but it's pretty much just Brian, that you get congratulatory socks. So, I got a skein of Riverstone yarns, because the new yarn that we got last podcast in her Dark Star colorway. That's her card, which you can't see because there's glare. Why am I bothering? But yeah, so 75% wool, 25% nylon, kind of variegated neutrals, I guess. I wouldn't call it a semi-solid, but it's just blacks. And I'm knitting some zigzagular socks for Brian because it kind of looks like there is like the zigzag pattern goes wavy up the side, and in my head I'm like, it looks like a black belt. I don't know. I also just wanted to knit these socks.
Be super funny if you could manage to knit that pattern in the diamond yarn that zigzags. You'd have like double zigzag socks.
Yes, that would have actually worked fairly well. So this is how the sock is knitting up. I'm not actually that far into it. I haven't even gotten to a zag. I've just like started. I've been trying to knit other things and finish them. So this is how it's knitting up. I have a fancy poodle stitch marker hanging off of there, but the zigzag is in here. I only have like a little bit, but that's how the yarn knits up. Here, I'll turn around so you're not distracted by poodles. But yeah, there's that. And I put some glow in the dark stitch markers by Sweet Fiber on there, so I can know where my
perfect for movie knitting
thing is. Yes.
Do they actually glow in the dark when you're in the theater?
Yes,
That's so
they
cool.
do. Yeah, so that's that. The pattern comes in a bunch of different sizes. It's a free pattern on Ravelry by Susie White. Did I write this down? I did not. One of the Prairie Girls. So I'm using this. The sock will be knitted for many knit-alongs. There's the Pal Cal going along, which is the podcast along knit-along. Oh. So you knit things. It's for actually knitting. It's her podcast. But you knit things either designed by podcasters, or if the podcaster dyes yarn, you knit with that yarn. Or if they design bags or make bags, you use their bags. That's stuff to support podcasters. And Susie White is a podcaster, so I'm knitting her socks. It's also Canadian yarn, so technically works for the Canadian thingy that we're doing in a couple of days.
Trying to figure out, so this Diamond yarn, because Diamond is a Canadian yarn company, so that counts as Canadian yarn, right? Like, it doesn't have to be custom dyed or hand dyed, does it? Like,
it does. Yeah, I guess Canadian. See, for me, that's questionable, because, like, if this was an American knit-along, would we want everyone to count Cascade and all the basics?
I don't know.
Because Custom Woolen Mills isn't hand-dyed, but they're Canadian.
Yeah.
I would count them because it's Canadian fiber.
Yeah, they're a little more commercial, though, but not quite as commercial as Diamond.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can always ask.
We will debate about that.
I will. I
will update whatever's happening here.
Yeah.
Probably debate about that off air.
Because, Diamond, the Peyton stuff is harder because Peyton's is an international company, but Diamond is pretty Canadian.
Yeah, I was like, I wouldn't count patents in any capacity. Yeah. Unless you knit a colorway that is a Canadian specific colorway. Like if it's the maple colorway, then sure, go for it. Yeah, you want to go for it?
So,
All over
my last one that I'm working on, which I kind of randomly cast, I have these, I had nothing going, and then I decided to cast on all the things, because, that's what you do. So this one here, I'll show you the picture first, because again, I was organizing on a picture. It's kind of didn't turn out that well, but, so that's what it looks like. It's just one of these little shoulder warmer cardigans, which never quite pull closed, but that's all right. It's called Love's Promise by Amanita Agata and I can't pronounce her last name.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going there. I'm using it as my contribution for the Canada Knit Along, because it's the yarn, the dye cauldron yarn that I showed the other week. Dye cauldron, I figured out, I thought they were Calgary based. They're actually based in Kelowna. But you can see how it's coming up. It's like semi-solid.
It's beautiful.
It's so nice. And so I was swimming right along with one skein. And then Bernadette at one point is like, aren't you switching skeins so you don't get a big color block change? So I started doing that, and then consequently had to rip out 3 rows because I screwed up the lace pattern. But now it's going. So I have to just remember that, when I have yarn on either side, it's like, ooh, which one do I start with? I'm pretty sure that I started there's a tail on this side. I started the tail on the wrong side, so both yarns should end up on the wrong side. That's kind of how I'm going. it's pretty quick. I'm not looking forward to the sleeves because I hate sleeves. I don't know why I hate sleeves, but they always take so long.
Probably the same reason you hate socks.
Yes, because there's 2 of them. The fact that you have to do them, I don't know. Yeah, you have to do them 2 at once. And then I always have problems. It's funny. So this one, I mean, it's weird gauge again because I'm not using the needle size. I'm using US 5s, so
drifting
3 this way. I'm using 3.75 millimeters, which I don't think was what they called for in the pattern, but that's what I got gauge on. And then I'm going to have to go up to like 4s because for my sleeves, when I knit in the round, I always get super, super tight. Even, it doesn't matter if I knit in the round like on a pullover, my sleeve, because it's a small circumference, has tighter gauge. And it bugs me that I never quite, you can always see this little like hump where it goes from like loose to like tight on the sleeve. I think I have all these things that sleeves bug me. Anyway, this is going to have the collar on it is like a big garter, and you just kind of, it's like wedged slightly, so it's a little thicker on the shoulder and narrower in the front. But I just wanted it for a little kind of, when it was still cool, it was like a throwover kind of cardigan.
You can still use those in the evening, like you're right on the water, it makes sense.
Yeah, and I mean, comes fall and stuff, it'll be...
I thought you were going to say winter for a second. I was like, no, not that one. Winter. The other one.
No, but, well, I always find, when you go out to dinner at places and the restaurants are always, like, super warm because there's, like, tons of people crowded in. I always like to have a little thing to start the evening with.
That's a good plan. Okay. I didn't do a ton of... Okay, well, this has moved past where it was last time, but not a ton of work has been done, but I wanted to show you because I feel accomplished. I finally separated my April for the sleeves. I also realize now with my hair I'm going to look like a comic book character. Blue hair, red sweater.
You need some yellow in there.
Nailing it. I'll just put on my yellow cowl.
There you go.
All the colors. Stephen West would be proud.
Like
Jessie would be proud.
You can be Wonder Woman reinterpreted.
Yeah, I could put on a denim skirt. So this is my April. Oh, you can kind of see the lace now. And now she has sleeves. I kind of separated for the sleeves and then went back in the bag for a bit because it's lace and requires braining, and there's been very little ability to brain.
I so want to cast that on, but I just, with this heat, I'm like, you know what? I want wool yarns that don't feel so woolly, which sounds weird, but
that barely exists though. Like it's not.
I guess it's so light.
Heavy. Ooh. Okay. And this.
I need to finish things. If my stash isn't going to count unless we finish things.
That's true. I'm just going to power through these things because I have this and then one other giant thing. So this is the spinning I'm working on.
Ooh.
It's Knit City's exclusive colorway from like 2 years ago. So this are the colors. It's Ancient Arts. It's their Polworth silk. And it's beautiful. It's the Vancouver colorway. I ironically bought the yarn. Not this time, but like a couple months ago. But it's spinning up beautifully and it's super thin, and I love it. And Glenda's gonna make fun of me. I've already warned her about this so she could prep her sarcastic remarks. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna fold this as a single. Keep it as a single. Because it's spinning.
This isn't like singles.
Most of the time I don't. Yeah. Most of the time I have issues with singles, but I think if I fold this, it would be a beautiful shawl. So that's kind of my plan. My brain feels like maybe a Pebble Beach.
How much?
Possibly.
How much did you, do you expect to get out of it? What's your...
Well, I'm spinning it almost a lace weight.
Oh, wow, okay.
Okay, this is the end, so this is not accurate, but it's that thin most of the way through. And that's kind of why I want to fold it as a single. Yeah. And also then I can get maximum yardage. Yeah. So I'm hoping it's going to take me forever. Because I've also been crocheting, and I can't spin that much when I've been crocheting a lot, because it's the same wrist muscles for me for some reason. So I'm hoping to get a ton of yardage out of this. I don't know, at least 400 yards.
Okay.
If not more.
So yeah, you could do the Pebble shawl.
Yeah. If I get less yardage, I'll figure it out. If I get more yardage, even better. But we'll see. Because it's a Polworth, 75% Polworth, 25% silk, and I think it'll drape really nicely. I realized we didn't grab the thing, so I could... Yeah. Oh, no, sorry. 85% Polworth, 75% Tussle Silk in the Knit City colorway. Or Vancouver colorway, Knit City Dye-Lot. Alright, cool. Not making any sense at all. And Ancient Arts does have that colorway available on yarn. I don't know if they have it on fiber still, but it is wonderful. And I hate motorcycles. But I was quickly going to say... Is the book behind us? Yes.
No, let's pause and I can do it. We'll just stop the video anyway.
It's okay. I can just ramble. So I've been asked about why I don't like merino. And it's not that I don't like merino, but the sheer amount of sheep breeds that are, I guess, more use specific annoys me. It makes me annoyed that merino is used for everything when there's so many other sheep breeds that would work better for the other things, if that makes sense.
I think part of it so much is that people know that merino is supposed to be a really soft, smooth yarn, and so people who they think wool is scratchy, then, let's get merino, and it's kind of overused, like it's everywhere.
That's exactly my problem.
Like Icebreaker, all these stores like Icebreaker and these ones like the pre-made woolen garments.
Yeah.
It's just like this overuse of merino.
Yeah, and it's just like merino, it's great for, especially if you have not a single merino, but other merinos, like nice plied ones. It's great for sweaters and scarves and shawls and wonderful things, but merino sock yarn makes negative amounts of sense to me. I realize hand dyers use it because it takes up dye well, because most of merino is easy to superwash, so it takes up dye really easily. But merino doesn't wear well. It has a very short staple. It's not going to put up with as much of abuse as other sock yarns would, like any long wool, which means the staple is longer. Merino is very short. Same with Polworth.
Blueface Leicester is a long one.
Perrindale.
Yeah.
Anything like what we were talking about going to grab is the Fleece and Fiber source book, which is literally this thick of sheep. Okay, part of it's camels and other things, but most of it's sheep. It's this thick, and just there's so many other breeds that would be great for all the things. Yeah. So it's not like I don't like merino. I just would like more diversity in my yarn, I guess.
I think so much of it is that producers, like, there's only so many blank yarn, undyed yarn providers, and there's only, 2 years ago, BFL was the biggest thing, and it was everywhere, and then now there's,
making a bit of a comeback.
They ran out of it, and there was a scarcity for a while.
It was good. I have one final whip, and then we're going to take a break just for editing purposes. If anyone remembers my giant orange blanket, you may or may not remember that Brian occasionally buys me giant acrylic yarn as a joke, because he thinks it's hilarious. So this was the original giant acrylic joke blanket. He got me 6 balls of loops and thread grande, and I've been crocheting like a mad woman. They're granny squares. They're not anything special, but these
here.
Yeah.
You can see it against the white wall.
Granny squares. Nothing special. 3 round granny squares. It's a super bulky yarn. It's about this big. I've been crocheting my way through it for what feels like forever. But I'm down to one color. And
what size hook are you using?
A 9mm.
Oh, wow.
But it's really nice. Actually, I picked the right gauge this time. Yay me. But they're gigantic skeins. There's about 250 yards on each one. I'm getting about 8 or 9 squares from each. Brian wanted me to just put them all together without bordering them, but I'm going to border them in black, then put them all together. Who knows, I may or may not have this done for next time, because I only have one color left, and then I would really like to just get it out of my life, because then I will be down to 2 blanket whips, and that feels amazing. And then we'll probably cast them on, although I want to cast on all the things for the Canada count, but we can talk about that after.
So many things.
Okay, we'll talk about that after we can put our Glenda did a bit of walking around areas. We can put these in for intermission. We don't have cats.
As part of the field trip, you get to see some video from around where I live.
Yeah, so we'll put that in here, and we'll be right back. So we now have beer.
It magically appeared to beer. Cheers.
Merry Tuesday.
Yay!
Iced coffee has now become beer. But we also went and we got the Fleece and Fiber Source book.
Yes.
So this is what I was talking about.
It's a great book. I love this book.
This is... Okay. For spinners, I'd say this is an essential. You need this in your life.
For knitters, if you just really like yarns and knowing about yarns, I don't spin, but I love this book.
And half of it is you going to be like, oh, look at the cute sheep! This was part of my birthday present last year. This one's Glenda's, but I have the same one. So this is filled with sheep breeds. This is why merino bothers me. This thickness alone.
There's so many other sheepies.
So many sheeps, and it goes over like alpacas and things like that as well.
Basically, other animals you can get fleece from. So there's rabbits and camelids and
they even go over dogs and cats, which you can also get. Okay, this is one of my favorites. This is what I was trying to find. Look at this Herdwick sheep. Look at how cute he is.
That's like Hoodie. I'm not using it. I have, when I lived in England, Woolfest in the Lakes District in England, their little mascot sheep is called Hoodie. And
native to the Lake District of Cumbria in the west of England. So what this does, besides make you want sheep, is it tells you about the different, how long the staple of the sheep is, what it can be. It gives you a lot of these pictures where it's like, this is the washed staple and this is the unwashed staple. And it just tells you about all the types of sheep, pretty much. Gives you pictures for most of them. Tells you what you can do with it.
Gives you tips of your spinning, too, right?
Yeah. And, anytime I'm spinning a new breed, I look it up so I know how long the staple is, whether or not I need to add more twist into it, what it would work really well as, whether or not it's drapey, whether it has a lot of memory. It's fantastic. And also half of it's just cheap, and it's really great. There's also the Spinner's Guide to Fleece, which I also have, which goes into slightly more detail about, spinning things breed specifically.
Glasses are sweating.
Yeah, as are we.
But yeah. We're ladies, we don't sweat. We glisten.
Oh no, I sweat. Yeah, so highly recommend this. Anyone needs to give gifts to knitting friends, these are amazing.
Yeah, it's a good book.
So the thickness of this book is why merino bothers me. Look at all your options.
To the store, because I love this book. I meant to have it at the store. It's so funny, when we opened, I meant to have this huge reference library at the store, and then I was afraid of stuff getting accidentally sold because it wasn't really for sale. But I don't know. Anyway,
so
we're gonna craft all the things.
Yay! I want to put in a graphic. I don't know whether or not I can. I might just be stupid and doing hand things. Okay, we just started drinking. I take a half-an-hour break and do shots or something.
That'd be really funny.
So what advantage
Nobody
of
needs to see that.
not filming at the store?
Exactly. And it is officially, I can't see the clock. It's 6 o'clock, so it counts as happy hour.
It doesn't matter.
All right, so I'm just going to start craft all the things with stuff that's not on the show notes because I can. So I've been making stitch markers because I can. So one of them was the fish one that Bernadette showed you. Here it is again.
He's so cute.
My little fisherman.
I kind of want to put the shark underneath the fish on the same sock.
I had that on one.
Doing it.
And so the little fish hangs off the bottom because you can kind of see it against my sweater better, or my top. Sweater in this heat. So that's one, and then I have the little turtles who won't stand still. Let's put it there. And then these are all progress keepers with the little clippy top. And then these ones have lobster claws. So we have the shark.
I have the sharky on my sock.
And then little Mousy, who I think you might have seen before.
Yep, he lived on my R2D2 socks.
So these guys are going to show up in our store. We can't, they'll show up in probably, I have to make more of them, but at some point they will be available in the shop.
All the progress keepers. And for some of them you used the earring back, right?
Yeah, some of them are earring backed, and 2 of them are the lobster claws. The mouse and the shark are the lobster claws.
Yeah.
I actually want to make some of them I feel like I don't have enough regular old stitch markers anymore. Well, I need to get some of the hoops.
That's what I like about those ones, though, is you can use them for both.
So, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Because I know I don't like the dangly kind of stitch markers, but sometimes I want a fancy beginning of the round one. But that's why I really like those sweet fiber ones. See, you do this. I do not
I have
do this.
these ones.
Please don't put your stuff in your beer. We'll play this game again. Move the beverage.
Oh my gosh. So these are little sushi stitch markers that I have, and there's a little hippo here again, a little hippo guy. I like those kinds of ones. And I used to have a ton of them, and I feel like I've lost them all. And I bet you any money that my stash box, which is right over there, if I go through that, I will find them all in one project. That's usually what happens.
Probably.
But
This is another reason I need to get through my whips.
Yeah.
Although I
Oh
only
my
have
gosh.
one other lingering whip besides this blanket, the
Yeah.
giant blanket. I have to finish my Sylvia Olsen skirt.
Oh gosh, yeah. I have to restructure that whole. The hip shaping does not fit me on that, and I have to totally redo it.
I'm going to do that for the Canada Cal, which we'll talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
later.
That's a good
Do you want
idea.
to talk about your sewing, and then I'll talk about my sewing?
Okay, so last week I started sewing. You can't see it, but just off to the side of where we're filming, we have all of the mattresses off our boat, and it's a sailboat, and the mattresses are like, well, there's the V berth and the aft cabin, which are like mattresses that you'd actually sleep on. But in the main cabin, the two mattresses, they also double as the seating for the salon, which is like where the table is.
Your boat has a salon?
I know, that's what it's called. It's so corny.
Pretentious white hobby gets pretentious white room.
It's so funny. It's like, you always say it's so pretentious, and I realized that our boat is 30 years old.
It's just the fact that you're like, my boat has a salon.
Yes.
Like, without any context, that statement.
That's what they call it. It's like the seating area. But look, this is my new mattress cover. I love it. I sewed it. It's plain on the back. Look, it has a zipper.
Way more
the
energy in this section than we
functions,
did
and
at the
there's threads here
beginning.
that shouldn't be here, but look.
Yay!
So we're covering it over because what we realized is that the orange and beige stripy pattern that the cover, those were original to the boat. It's a 1983
Whoa.
boat, so they're super old. So we bought the fabric and we're slowly covering them. I don't know, I'm tempted to farm it out to somebody else because after sewing this one, which is like the smallest, this is like in the V berth, there's these two big triangles that in the front, and then there's a little rectangle in the center because you're supposed to be able to lift them all up, and there's all the storage underneath. That's the smallest one, and that took me an age, and cutting out the fabric is really not as easy as it looked. And Mike's all gung-ho to like do it, but I'm the one that has to do a lot of the sewing, so
Mike has a lot of great ideas.
Mike has great ideas. Mike has so little space.
We should get
free
wireless
time.
speakers. Your podcast should have all these things. You should sew these giant cushions. Mike, I'm not better at all.
Careful, he's gonna be home soon.
I know, that's why I'm saying it now, so we can watch this later and be like, ah, which is fine. Hi, Mike.
We have between the two of us, we have great ambition and not so much free time to get anything done. So, yeah, we're looking for. I think we're gonna end up finding an upholsterer to do that. Otherwise, it's gonna take us like all summer, and we're supposed to go away in a week, so we might be sleeping on the old mattress covers.
Just bring sheets to put
Yeah,
over
no, I
them.
mean, to be fair, we always
Like
we
3
do
sheets
we
over
put
them.
sheets over top of the cover, so it's not like you're sleeping on it, but whatever. Okay, but I'm hoping there's leftover of that because I so want to make a bag out of it because wouldn't that
It
be
is
so
fun.
cool?
I'm impressed that Mike let you get a mildly fun fabric. I was
Yeah,
expecting
it
you
was
to come
so
back with like
fun.
waterproof navy. Not that I mind navy. But
That's what
what
our
I was
outdoor cushions are,
expecting.
but we didn't have to make those.
Sure.
Okay, and then I did more sewing because I decided that the covers were huge and
That
too
is
much.
adorable.
So I started making bags. Now I'm going to do this one first because this is my favorite. It's so ridiculous. Look at my bag.
I don't think you understand what ridiculous is, but that's adorable.
It's a fish bag.
It's so. What does the inside look like? She has
The
barely had
inside-
any of the beer.
It's crazy. The inside
Is it water?
octopus.
Oh, I love that
Isn't that
fabric. Did you
fantastic?
get that from Connecting Threads?
I did. I got it all from Connecting Threads. So it's octopus and seahorses. Octopi.
I love that. Apparently,
it's-
octopus is technically also correct.
Okay, and then the other thing, which is just so funny. So when I was down at, because we bought all the fabric for the mattresses, and then I had to go back to Dresso to get the zippers because I realized that we needed zippers that were like 1.5 meters long, and where else do you go for crazy long zippers? So then I was kind of, because when you go to Dresso, you can't just go for one thing. You kind of poke around at the buttons and whatever else. And they found this table, and they had zippers for 49 cents.
Oh, that's excellent.
And they were so fun. And so I found these ones with these really cool, you can see the really fun handle. Like the big, and I just thought they were really neat. And so I got a bunch in different colors. And then when I got home, I realized that this is a 2-way zipper, which is so ridiculous.
That's great, though. You can have your yarn
But-
coming out of the middle.
Yeah, oh, actually, I didn't even think about that. But yeah, so it and I made this giant bag because I wanted to use all the fabric. I got a 1/2 yard piece, 2 half-yard pieces.
You should
and
put your
then,
cozy memories in there when you started.
Oh,
Should be your
no,
cozy
I'm-
memories blanket. Because then
I'm-
you could take it on the boat, and you're like, "Is my cozy memories
I don't
on
know
my
if I'm
boat?"
gonna do a cozy memories blanket. What I'm
Well, I
thinking of
just want
putting
to
in
make a
it.
scrappy
Oh
blanket.
well,
I've deemed all scrappy blankets cozy,
Cozy
memory
memories.
blankets.
I think what I'm going to put in it is the gray yarn, the gray epic yarn that I want to do the chartreuse cardigan.
Oh, that's a good plan.
It's Thea Coleman's chartreuse, the baby cocktails collection.
Ironically in blue.
Sometimes I'm doing it in gray. But yeah, I thought that would go in there because it's like huge, because it's gigantic. And measuring this, because I just kind of, it didn't work actually. So I followed this pattern because I didn't do the same pattern as I did for the last one. This is from Betsy Makes, where did I write this down? Thank you, betsymakes.blogspot.ca. And I actually did cover the ends of my buttons with a little piece of the contrasting fabric from the inside, but clearly, or my buttons, my zippers. Clearly I didn't do it right because you can't actually see them. I need to. And it occurred to me, this is something that I should ask you. Should I be using a zipper foot for the zippers? Or is that only if you're doing like hidden zippers and skirts and stuff?
Okay. Invisible zippers need an invisible zipper foot, which is why none of my stuff has invisible zippers.
Because you don't have a zipper foot.
Because my machine is pre-invisible zippers.
Yeah. So mine came with a zipper foot, and I don't know if I'm supposed to be using it for this or not.
You should generally use a zipper foot because it can get you closer to your zipper than you can otherwise.
So I don't have to sew my seam 7 times. Like
sometimes you can fudge it if you're like just doing something really basic, but like I think my lat zipper I in theory could do with my regular zipper foot.
Okay.
Or my regular foot. But yeah, the zipper foot, because it's smaller on one side, allows you to get closer to the seam.
Okay, so next time I will try.
But it looks fine.
Yeah, they're not.
But it might be easier if you use your zipper foot.
None of the things say to use a zipper foot, so I just didn't think to use it. And then afterward, I'm like, maybe this would be easier if I did.
Generally, if you have a foot that's specialized for the thing you're doing,
you should probably do it.
Do a thing.
So then this one. So then I got sick of zippers after that because I like zipped and I had problems with that zipper.
Isn't this project bag tutorial amazing?
And so I used this tutorial from
not a fan of the tutorial at all.
I need to buy the pattern for this. It's so cool.
It's great.
This is the size that's on the tutorial. It's
so
the everything bag.
I love your retro caps.
So it's funny because when we were shopping, we found this retro orange fabric, which I have on the inside and the top. And we had a Riv Creative bag come in the store in this fabric. And then I was randomly on that same visit to Dresso when I was getting all those zippers. I went through their section of like fat quarters, and this cat one was actually a fat half.
See, I don't know how I didn't find that. I was there the day before you.
I swear to God, they change everything every day. Apparently they have another huge warehouse where they bring stuff in like almost every day. So
I heard about that.
Yeah.
I love Dresso.
But then it's the same pattern thing. Like those are the same collection. Yep. So then I totally just used it. So I have more of the cat fabric. But I used up all my orange, except for a little tiny scrap.
Go find some of that cat fabric. Sam would love a bag in that.
And then I just did ribbon because I didn't feel like sewing ties. But so that's my other one. This is going to be my green bag. My green sweater, sorry. But the next one I do, because there's like gray and like neon green, I want to get this colored green or the yellow and match. Be fun. Can you see the green and the yellow?
You should
pick up one of those 2 colors and the next contrast of the other version I make of this.
It's a good plan.
I have so
You could even do like a zippered pouch with the green zipper, because then you could just use the fabric you have and not have to get more.
That's true.
Not that I don't want to enable you to get fabric, but you do have a lot of fabric.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. For someone who doesn't sew very much, I have a lot of little pieces and small amounts of fabric, so we may have to make a whole lot of bags in the future.
That's not bad, though. They also make great gifts.
That's true. Wow, it's really hot now.
It is.
The sun's coming closer and closer to shining in the window. It's going to get warmer and warmer in here.
Okay, well, it's like, we'll try to talk faster, but we probably shouldn't do that.
No, don't ask me to talk faster.
The contrast between the beginning part of this video and the end is going to be hilarious.
No.
All the things?
That's all.
Okay. My sewing this week, I didn't bring any of it with me, because it's bulky. Actually, kind of also dirty, because I've worn the things. But I've been sewing a lot of clothes. I finished making a bumblebee canby dress, which I will put in here, which has become my, I think what they call it for like 60s fashion is a wiggle dress. It's not a wiggle dress because it's more A-line, but it's got like little hexagon bumblebees, or hexagons and then metallic bumblebees that I got at Spool of Thread when we went, I think. Yes?
Was it? I can't remember if you got it there or if you got it at Fabricana.
I think I got it at Spool of Thread.
Okay.
But it was, I think it's a double gauze fabric, because it feels like gauze and then there's 2 layers, so my brain assumes that's what double gauze is.
Well, yeah, I'm guessing that's not from Fabricana then.
Yeah, got that from Spool of Thread. No idea what the fabric is. But it's really nice, and I like it, and it fits me really well, which is nice. Although, still, somehow, even though I've cut out different pieces for the canby, the shoulder measurements are still not right. Still always too big. Still have to shove like 3 inches into the bust, but whatever.
Get,
I've made alternate pattern pieces for the front and like the shoulder pieces, but it's still always. I think I've just added extra length so I have more rather than less.
Oh yeah.
Because my plaid librarian or my punk librarian dress, I made this part too short and it's wonky, so maybe that's why. So I made that. And then I also finished making a Zelda print circle skirt.
That's so fun. I love that skirt.
Which I love. So that was the product of me going to dress sew for lining fabric and then being like, I'll just look at the quilting cottons real fast.
It just happens.
Yeah, although the other day I got in and out. I got no fabric. Felt very proud of myself. But yeah, so I got 2 meters of the Zelda print. I will also I'll try and take a close-up picture of the print because it's hard to describe. Anyone who's familiar with Zelda, there is a point, my brain feels like it's in Ocarina of Time, but I know it's definitely in Wind Waker, where at the beginning they go through like the story of Zelda's history in like hieroglyphic form, and that's the pattern that's on the skirt, and I love it, and no one else knows what it is until they look real close, and you don't want anyone looking that close anyway.
Completely different. When you say familiarity with Zelda, I think like the original Nintendo game version.
Well, Ocarina of Time is only one legend, or one thing beyond.
But the little...
Ocarina of Time is N64, which is what I played it on. Wind Waker is GameCube.
We never had a... Oh, see, that's way beyond me. I had the original NES, and then a Super NES, and that was it.
It's not that.
I stopped
like
playing video games
N64
after...
GameCube.
Yeah.
And then they went
We stopped
to
buying
Wii.
Nintendos after the Super NES. I think is all.
That's funny. We stopped buying Nintendos after GameCube, because my problem became... tangent. General waffle. It's okay. Now, the thing I loved about GameCube is that you could buy this black thing that you put in the bottom that allowed you to play your Game Boy and Game Boy games.
Oh yeah.
In your Game Boy Color or GameCube, which was amazing because we had a lot of the Pokemon games.
Yeah.
And there's nothing better with Pokemon in really bad like 8-bit pixels, but on a big screen, which was great. I still have my GameCube and I still have Wind Waker and. That dragon boat's my favorite thing ever. Anyhow, I love Zelda so much. Clearly. Anyone who hasn't seen this fabric.
I did not even associate that with Zelda. That's really funny.
Yeah, so this is faux. This is not the skirt. I did not sew this recently, but this is Zelda adjacent. So this is faux knitting fabric. That's Zelda, Triforce, hearts, potions, all the fun things, Navi, which is my favorite and least favorite thing at the same time. But it looks like a fake knitted sweater, and I got this fabric off of Spoonflower. Sorry, don't worry. But yeah, it was amazing, and I could not purchase it. So, I'm a huge Zelda fan, so I made that skirt. Damn.
And back to
second part. It's just gonna be called General Waffle, not even craft all the things. We have beer and talk about stuff. But yeah, so I made
more often.
I cut the circle skirt into. I didn't have technically enough fabric to make a true circle skirt, so and also it was a directional print, so if I did a true circle skirt it would be the wrong way on the back, so I cut it into 4 panels also so I could put pockets in the side because I don't know why pockets aren't in everything. But yeah, so it's 4 panels technically, so all the panels are going the right direction and I have pockets, and it also works really well with a crinoline, and I also need a bigger one of those. I've decided need to have like full 50s hairspray skirt, I think.
I have an old tutu. My mom's you can probably have.
That's not a bad idea. So yeah.
Well, listen, I bought it for a costume in undergrad, so it's not really that old.
But yeah, no, like I have a tulle skirt that I put under, but I was wearing it and I was like, it's not quite enough poof. I just kind of want it to be way more poofy. I've also been working on an Exploding TARDIS Doctor Who dress for my birthday. Which is on Sunday, so I should probably get to making that. Because it's still definitely the cutout pieces from last time. I haven't cut out the inside bit.
It's okay, once you start sewing it together, zipping through it.
Yeah, it's just like that. I hate cutting out pattern pieces. It's my least favorite thing in the world. Because it's not actually sewing.
You totally have to do it at work more often, because that table, I was trying to do some cutting out here, and like, I have to, well, I'm not quite on the floor, but like this table, I can't, I'm super paranoid about cutting on this table, because I think I'm going to gouge it. Because it's a
fancy table.
You
need a not fancy table.
I keep telling Mike we need to replace this table with a not fancy table that I can not gouge on purpose, but if it happens to accidentally get gouged, well, I'm not gonna care. That's kind of what I need.
Although I've heard that the appeal of vintage things is that they've been lived with. That there's
but there's a difference between like vintage and antique, because vintage is like, to me, more functional and like usable and it's been used, and whereas antique, there's this like assumed you must keep it pristine forever.
See, that seems stupid to me. I have a bunch of furniture that my grandfather made.
Oh, fine.
Like my table, like bless my grandfather. He made things for functional purposes, but like he made my desk that I do most of my sewing on, because my mom was a short person, so no desks would fit her. So I have that, and it's been well loved and well abused. And then our kitchen table is the same thing, also made for short people.
I want
and
a
I
table.
cut on that all the time. It just feels stupid to own stuff that you're not going to use. What's the point of owning it?
I know. We have,
like wandering off screen.
Goodbye. I want one of those, what are they called? Like a harvest table. But, of course, how do you fit a harvest table into a Vancouver apartment? It doesn't work. But a mini harvest table with, like, you know, the big chunky wood, like, tabletops that are, like, this thick and, like, really, you know.
Like a butcher block table?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, the harvest table, it's like usually like the Mennonites. They're associated like with Mennonite or Amish construction. It's a very basic style, very simple construction. But usually, I mean, ideally, my aunt had this gorgeous one at this house she used to live in. And the planks on the tabletop were like this wide. And so you like three planks, and you get this gorgeous wide table. And it was just, it was amazing.
You should just get a bunch of wood and get Mike to build it in the apartment.
We did actually look at...
It's like, we have a bunch of ideas for Mike too, now that I'm thinking about it. It's not just like a one-night thing.
Never mind the stuff I actually need him to do, like the website stuff and you know, things like that.
I could do the website stuff.
Yeah, well, we're working it out.
In theory.
Anyway, on that tangent, let's go into store news.
We're definitely going to have to do that general waffle thing. Just to start off the break, just general waffle.
Oh my goodness. Okay. I'm going to jump to the more specific stuff.
Do that, and then we'll do the Canada Cow.
Yeah, because then we can waffle more. There is a Canada Post strike coming up, supposedly. If you've watched any Canadian podcasts, you've probably heard about it. There's a labor dispute that they've been in discussions. I don't know why I'm fondling my yarn. This is so weird. I'll stop now.
Wow.
Okay.
We really should do this with beer more often. This is way more entertaining.
So funny. Right, okay, focus.
I'm also way less stressed out about noise, apparently.
Canada Post is in labor negotiations with their employees. They may or may not have a strike starting on Friday.
Lockout, technically.
A lockout, yeah. I think it's...
Strike implies that the employees...
That's right, it would be the lockout, so the employees can't work. I read the details, but I'm not going to get into it because I really don't have an opinion one way or the other. All that I can say is that from the store, they have told us do not post anything after the 27th of June, which was yesterday. Because there is a chance it will not end up at its destination before the strike starts on Saturday, or the lockout, or whatever you want to call it. So if you're ordering, we can't unfortunately send any orders out at all until further notice. Hopefully this will be resolved and we will be back to normal next week. But for now, if you place any orders, we have to hang on to them until this whole situation is over, and we will post them after that. If you do want something immediately posted, we can arrange courier service. Unfortunately, as much as I would love to say that we can FedEx everything for you, we can't do that. So we can do the odd order. If you really need something, call us and we will set that up for you. But unfortunately, I can't. Some companies I've seen are just handing over everything to FedEx, and I would love to be able to do that, but I would have to charge you guys for it, and unfortunately that's probably not something you want to do. So,
and hopefully it'll be a nice short strike.
Yes.
And it won't completely mess with everyone's business. Possibly.
Yeah, it's so bad. A lot of Etsy stores are on vacation because of this, like the Canadian stores, rather than have to deal with it.
Yeah.
It's really frustrating.
Can we go on vacation?
Sorry?
We could just close for like a week. We'll just go on vacation.
It's funny. I was even looking on the website as like a way to disable shipping, but because our website is built on an e-commerce platform, we can't, it's basically you have to be able to ship stuff. So there are notices I did edit. If you order from us, you will get an email saying, I'm really sorry, but we can't ship it right now, and we'll send it as soon as possible. If you need to contact us or have any questions, just call the store. You can check out our website for contact information. And that was a very loud truck going by.
Welcome to Vancouver.
It's rush hour.
No, it's just Vancouver.
Yeah,
this happens at the store all the time. We'll be
does.
filming and I can hear the traffic, but
we're
there's nothing you can do.
9 stories up. I was hoping it would not happen.
Nah, that's crazy. Traffic really wants to be on the podcast. We're very popular.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So, on happier news.
Yes.
The Canada Cal starts on a couple of days. So it's going to be like
Friday!
On the 1st. Yeah. So on Friday, which is terribly exciting. I personally am scheming all the things. Although I realized just now I should probably have saved my Maize Mitts.
Well, it depends on whose Cal you're participating in, because, like, the 2 Tangled Skeins.
Oh, no, but they're done now.
Oh,
This is what I mean. Like, if I had not finished
Sorry.
them. Yeah, if I just waited a couple of days to finish
Yeah.
them. It's okay, though. They've
But
been on
then-
the needles for, like, months.
Because we're not allowing whips, but...
Oh, no, we are.
We are? Oh, okay.
Okay, I have my really weird rule of please knit at least 50% of the
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So your
So-
sweater is fine, but if you had, like, the body of a sweater knot and
Oh.
you just needed to knit the sleeves, I might, like,
That
be a
doesn't
bit...
count.
It depends. We'll see.
Yeah, no, 2 Tangled Skeins, they said... That was the thing, because I was watching... I can't remember now if I was watching their podcast or if I was just reading their thread, but basically... Oh, I think it was the podcast from last week, and they officially said, we will accept whips, and I immediately cast on. I'm like, great, I can do this! So that's why I cast on the blue sweater.
Yeah. Yeah, we are accepting whips. I just would like it if you, like, knit at least 50% of it during the cal, because it feels more participatory. I enjoy stash cheater rules of just having to, like, bind off, but that feels like cheating. And for stash, it's fine, because you have to knit a crazy amount of stuff in a tiny amount of time. But you have 3 months.
Yes.
So I personally am waiting to cast on all the things. But I think I'm going to cast on not a Waiting for Rain, but the Rain Outside. So
that's a new one.
Yeah, so the DK weight version of the Waiting for Rain. Because I bought some, I'm just like Ultra Alpaca Ultra, at 88 stitches. Yeah, and I'm hoping, probably gonna need more of my main color, but let's pretend that 3 skeins is enough for now. Although I don't think I'm going to do the fancy, like, bind off at the bottom. I think I'm just going to do plain garter, possibly a contrast bind off.
Is it a picot bind off?
No,
is it just
it's
like
like
a
an eyelidded triangle
okay.
thing.
Okay.
And it's just not quite my aesthetic, so I think I might just do a contrast garter bind off, which I think would be fun. So that, at least that one, possibly other things, I don't know.
I really...
Cast on all the things. I
Well-
shouldn't have made that promise to not knit anything, or not cast on anything.
And until today, until it got really hot in here today, I really want to cast on a blanket. Do I have it here? Yes. Okay. This is totally tangent.
Just putting in a warning. Anyone who doesn't want to listen to us waffle, leave halfway
Leave now.
through.
Okay, so
Wow,
this...
you have lots of rocks.
These
Why do
are-
you have rocks? What's happening?
These are rocks that may have come home with us from Haida several years ago.
Ooh, this one's fancy.
And they're so fun. Like, look at this. It's the coolest. I love these. So we're not rock collector people.
This is a bonded
I know
rock.
some people totally do this, but no, it's this one. I think it's this one. And here, I'll show it. There's a couple of them, and the colors are just. I mean, Haida is amazing. Haida is formerly known as the Queen Charlotte Islands. There are these 2 big islands on the coast, plus a lot of little ones. Northwestern BC. Beautiful. A couple years ago, we went kayaking up there. Look at these rocks. I love them. This one's got like blues and orange.
If anyone's been to the store, her vacation photos are the ones on the customer computer of
And
this trip.
it's just amazing. So this is the one I think, because it's got like blue and orange and brown.
Oh, that's
I want to make a
beautiful.
blanket based on that. And when I saw that, I remember thinking, I need a blanket. All of these. They have these cool, like really neat combinations. I'll put them away now. So that one I'm thinking the peach and the light blue and the beige heather and possibly the white and the brown of the custom wool mills.
Oh,
That's what I'm thinking. That's my blanket that I've had in my head for since we went to Haida Gwaii.
we'll have to like pull those off the shelf though.
Yeah.
It's in my
I'm not
head.
sure about the brown. The orange and the light blue and the white and the beige heather work really well together. I'm not sure. I may have to throw in like a couple other colors, but I think it'd just be and like short rows and just kind of like random. I have this idea of. But
See-
until it got really, really hot because a giant wool blanket.
Well, if you knit it in squares and then seam it together.
I don't know. I was just going to do I was just going to do a lap size. I can't see my other hand. But and then I just wanted to be able to do short rows and just angles and just different. I don't know. Just kind of play with it and just do it freeform.
I think it'd be fun. Another thing you could do, less freeform,
Yeah.
but you could do that giant brioche blanket that Stephen West has and just do
Oh.
the neutral color as the main part and
Oh,
the
I know,
colors
like
as the
colors.
changes.
Oh my god, do you know how long that would take
I don't know why I want to knit this blanket. I do.
I need to bring up my carpet, speaking of which.
Yeah, that's what Stash Dash is for.
Yes, I am knitting a carpet.
Weirder things have happened. I've crocheted a Mario rug.
That's true.
which is super weird and makes me sad. It's falling apart. Early knitting mistakes.
Oh, that was one of those, like, the square ones.
I made 300 granny squares
Oh my gosh.
and did it like 8-bit style.
Oh my goodness. How did you put them together? Did you crochet them or sew
I
them?
sewed them.
Oh my gosh. What did you make it with that it's falling apart so fast?
No, it's not that the materials were bad. I just did it early in my career.
Oh.
So I didn't know what I was doing.
So it's not sewn together properly?
Nope.
Oh, can you save it?
Probably, but it's also, I do this thing where I'm just like, I'm too sad to deal with you. It's like that, and like my elf tee, and like the crazy stripes tee was sitting in the corner for a year.
Gotta
Do
go
this
hide
thing
in
where
the
I'm just
corner.
like, I can't look
Fix
at
them
you.
in stash next year.
Seaming doesn't count. I'd have to pull it apart and like do a border, or I can't.
Yeah.
I can't even. I don't even have space to deal with it though, or like to display it. Like I don't have the floor space for it. Maybe when Brian and I move in together, we'll see.
Well, that's like my blanket with all my swatches that I did that swatch project. And I really want to sew it together, but originally I was going to sew it together and it was going to live on the sofa at the store because it would be like the perfect like back of sofa blanket. And then we sold the sofa, so now I don't know what to...
Hide Nice Peter in it, or just Peter, not Peter. Sorry,
Not Peter?
Nice Peter is a YouTuber.
Actually, I had an idea of making it for having it ready for Knit City and putting it up in the booth at Knit City. That
This would be so cute.
It
I'm
would
gonna
be
make
really
bunting, and you'd have your blanket, and
we
Mike's
do not
gonna
Peter
be
there. And
We'd have to tie not Peter down though.
I know.
I'm afraid he would wander.
Yeah. Although he's like this big.
I've
don't
seen
know.
weirder stuff go
That's
missing
true.
at knit shows before.
That's true.
I'm amazed at sheep that Knit Social has doesn't go missing more often.
Oh, it's probably heavy though.
Yeah, I
don't know. If you put it in some... Well, yeah, I mean, the sheep maybe is in someone's view most of the time, so...
Yeah, that's true.
At least the people, the ticket booth people would, like, see them walking out with a giant sheep. It might look a little weird.
That's what we should do with all our bells. We should put the bells on not Peter. And then we'll hear
we
him.
can bring him.
We'll hear him going missing.
That would be so good.
Perfect. Solve that problem. We'll knit him. We'll like sew him together in a necklace, and then we'll sew the necklace to not Peter.
And then you guys can all come and meet not Peter. He's so squishy.
Anyone who hasn't been to the store has no idea what we're talking about.
People that just go on our Instagram feed, look for a giant stuffed rabbit. That's not Peter.
I will also probably.
He has his own hashtag. You can just look for hashtag.
He
not
has a
Peter.
hashtag?
He has a... Don't you know that?
No!
Yeah, he totally has a hashtag. It's hashtag
Is it
not
like
Peter.
2 years later and I have no idea our buddy has a hashtag? Failing at life.
He's a cool bunny. Of course he has a hashtag.
I have like husbands and boyfriends who will come to the store and just be excited to see not Peter.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about like having to wait. They're just like stoked. This one guy's like, we traveled for like an hour and I get to finally see the bunny.
We should have him here.
So
Put a
great.
little picture in.
Yeah. Okay. So not that I wouldn't love to waffle on forever, but we should probably.
Yeah, we should probably.
That is all the things. Sorry we were waffly. But
you guys can complain if you think we need to stop doing the waffling.
No, okay. It's the summer. It's about 30 degrees right
That's
now. It's late in the evening.
Yes.
I've been nannying for 8 hours. So, yeah. This is what you get. And great news, you get me like this again in 2 weeks. Just me, though, probably.
I'm totally gonna try and do one from the boat.
Yep.
And then, because there's a point in about halfway through our trip that we'll be back and have internet access, so I will try and edit it, and then I can upload it, and then...
Good
So
plan.
you get 2 for the price of 1.
Right. I may possibly do like a time-lapsey type video of me trying to sew together my Doctor Who dress, because then I can put that in with the next podcast.
Yeah.
If you guys have any ideas or special things you want to see for next week, let me know in the Ravelry thread. By next week, I mean next podcast, because it's 2 weeks from now, but I apparently can't fix that in my brain. So anyhow, okay, I will see you in 2 weeks. Glenda will see you in forever from now. Yeah, thanks for listening to us waffle.
Bye.
Bye guys.